When we do something difficult, it's really important to have a why to keep us motivated when it gets hard. So in this video, I'll share with you my 7 big reasons why I wanted to break my smartphone addiction, and maybe they'll help motivate you too. My first reason for breaking my phone addiction, and the biggest reason for me, is my eyesight. Before I got a smartphone, I didn't need glasses for everything. I had astigmatism, so I needed them if I was sitting in the back of the classroom to see the blackboard, but that's about it. Within 6 months of getting my smartphone, I needed to wear glasses full time for myopia, or short-sightedness, because I was doing so much short-sighted work. My eyes stopped bothering being able to see into the distance. I want to break my screen addiction so that I can regain my eyesight. And besides just the short-sightedness, who knows what else all this screen time is doing to our eyes? Like, what about our retinas? Having all this light streaming in sometimes quite high intensities for so much of the time. I think we're going to discover that it's doing a lot more damage to our eyesight than we even realize yet. Just the way staring into the sun damages your eyes, and fishermen having the reflection of the sun hitting up into their eyes for days, months, weeks, years on end, it damages their eyes. I think this is going to have the same cumulative effect on our retinas. I don't want to just wait for that to happen. I want to do something to avoid that right now. My second reason to break my smartphone addiction is sleep. The blue light from our phones really messes with our hormones and our melatonin release. It suppresses our ability to know when we're tired, and it means that we're not sleeping as much or as well. Sleep is so much more important than we give it credit for. It has some really serious health implications. It's linked to diabetes and cancer and Alzheimer's, but it also has mental health implications and emotional health implications such as anxiety and depression, like some really big reasons why you don't want to mess with your sleep. But even if you use a blue light filter on your phone or yellow glasses in the evening, it still has the capacity to mess with your sleep. You still are addicted to, I don't know, social media like Instagram or games. Using these apps can keep us distracted for a long time. So either we end up going to bed later than we mean to because we're on our phone, or because we've been on our phone when we were meant to be doing other things, which we now need to do. Reason number 3 is not wanting to let life slip me by. Time really feels like it goes faster when you're on a screen. I spent some time volunteering in a place where screens were really not encouraged. We didn't have our phones with us or iPads or computers. We were busy getting on with our jobs. And in between different shifts, I had often like 2 hours, 3 hours break. And during that time, I would have a cup of tea, I would write letters, I would go for a walk, I would talk to friends. It was a great break. And one time I borrowed an iPad so that I could look something up. I started using it at the beginning of my break, and before I knew it, it was time to go back to work. And the time did really not feel as long as it normally did. It felt like maybe 10-15 minutes. I was so surprised it was time to go back to work because I thought I still had loads of time left. Like, it's like our brains forget to register time and space when we step into this like cyberland. If that's what happened in this 3-hour stretch, that suddenly it felt like 10-15 minutes, what am I doing with my whole life by spending so much time on a screen? I hope I do get old one day, but I'm like not in any hurry to become old and reach the end of my life. But by using screens so often, I reckon it's gonna feel like it comes a lot quicker. So in order to slow that down and just enjoy being in the prime of my life for as long as I can, I'm gonna try and stay off screens as much as I can. The 4th reason is brain health. So all this smartphone use, all this social media, like we're scrolling, quick, go to the next thing, the next thing, we're jumping. We're not giving anything sustained attention. And that is training our brains to move on quickly. It is harder and harder for us to concentrate. We're actually changing our brain chemistry. We're rewiring our brain and training it to not pay attention. I was in an airport not long ago and there was a advertisement on a screen, and I was interested in that ad, so I knew that I had to take in the information as quickly as possible before it changed. So I just got like the basics. And then, okay, the ad's still there, so I can take another look and take in a bit more information. So I took a bit more information in and the ad was still there. So I was like, okay, so now I can just take a little bit more time and take it in fully. And I started like really looking at the ad. And then I started getting curious because the ad was still there, it hadn't changed. And then I realized it wasn't a screen at all. It was a poster that was backlit. And when I realized that that ad that I was trying to look at was not going anywhere, I could like feel my brain relax. So we're keeping our brains in like a really weird situation when we're only giving them brief time to take in a lot of information. It's not healthy. Reason number 5 is creativity. Sure, through our screens we can discover a lot of really incredible, inspiring input for our brains, but if we're using all our spare time to be on screens, we're not actually leaving ourselves with enough time to make any output, to do anything creatively with all this great input. We're not leaving ourselves time to play and to process or to get bored. We're not leaving ourselves time to create, whether that's to create something physical with our hands or whether to create ideas. We're not leaving ourselves the space that our brain needs to generate this creativity. Number 6 is awareness. I want to live my life with awareness and intention. And staring at a phone screen, no matter how interesting what's on it is not living my life. In fact, it's hardly better than being a brain in a jar. And life has so much more to offer to us as human beings than it would to a brain in a jar. And my reason number 7 is achieving my goals. There are things that I want to do with my life, things that I want to achieve in my life, and I'm never going to have time to do them if I spend my spare time on a screen. Life's already too short for me to fit in everything that I'm interested in doing. I already have to make the hard decisions and choose where I want to spend my time and energy. And if I am spending a good chunk of my time on my phone screen, then I'm hardly going to actually do anything with my life that is actually important to me. It sounds corny, but how we spend our days is really how we spend our lives. If you're trying to break your smartphone addiction, you might be interested in my video 7 tricks to break your smartphone addiction. And if you like this video, please like this video. It really helps me out, and do consider subscribing. I'd love to hear your why down in the comments. I really love hearing from you and I try to reply to every comment. So until next time, bye.